Good evening. It's Tuesday night. It's time for Homestead Update Live and Hot Topics Question and Answers here at Grumpy Acres Farm. I hope everybody had a good week so far since last time we saw you. Did you have a good week? Before you tell us that, let's see who's in chat.
Okay.
Starla's in chat. She's the first one. Good to see you, Starla. We got Gregory Kissel.
Could be Susie.
Jane's in the chat.
Could
Greg, it doesn't matter. Too happy to worry. I'm in remission. Congratulations. Good job. Sticking with it. Congrats for hitting 5,000. Thank you very much. In case you missed it, we're doing a giveaway, but it's going to have to wait for a little bit. Finances.
that should be there, actually.
What should be?
It may be here. We'll have it in September.
But let's see. Who else is in here? Half Bubble Off Plum. Best name on the internet. Len's here. What's up, brother? Hippocratic Gardens here.
Hippocrates.
Whatever. Grateful Hearts Ranch. I'm just calling him HG. Over on Tag's channel, they call him Shitster or something like that. Troublemaker.
He gets
Shitster. Same.
Oh,
Oh, okay. We're outside of 30 seconds, so I'm not gonna get in trouble for saying that. Seriously, hope everybody had a good week. And thank you for joining us. If you are a new subscriber here, welcome. Like Starla said, we hit 5,000, and this is something we do every Tuesday night, 8 p.m. during the summer, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, the only time zone that matters during the winter. And we it gives
just during the winter.
Well, up until we decide to change it. Anyway, but it gives us a chance to sit down and talk with you guys and see how everybody's doing and share what we're doing here. It's just an enjoyable time. You know, sometimes it's a chore. You guys aren't a chore. Yeah, sometimes they are a chore. But that's what makes them special. But it's both of them tonight. Ooh, nice. And again, if you're new to the chat, get into live chat. Get out of top chat. Top chat is where YouTube wants you to be. Live chat is where all the subversion happens. This is where all the neat stuff, all the stuff that they don't want you to see in top chat, happens down in the live chat.
What you been drinking today?
Nothing, just live. I'm so tired. So we had a relatively busy week.
Yeah.
Skanes Girl was up here for most of the week, and if she were building an off-grid house in Jackson County, we would have been helping her for many hours.
She's building a shed.
She's building a shed to store her animals and her stuff in. Yeah, but we helped her because she's got to get it weather tight by the end of next weekend, and we've got 3 days of possible rain, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and
get out, really?
Yeah, 30%.
Unload in the rain.
30%, 50% on Saturday, 30% on Sunday, and I don't remember what it is on Friday.
So those sound like evening showers, night showers.
Probably.
So that'll be fine. She should have.
But we got the entire community over there, so she showed up, and we went out Saturday, and it was Hacks. You guys have met Hacks, and it was Gypsy. And Virginia Roots is in the house, and Rose is in the house.
I saw Rose.
Rose is in the house, but
I said hi.
Oh, did you? Okay. But and Gypsy showed up, and Son of Hacks, and we worked for
and yeah, Gypsy. You said
well, it was the cardiac crew, Son of Hacks, and the support team all showed up. So that's what we're calling it. Whenever Gypsy,
Patty managed and helped me do errands. I was the gopher. I kept everybody fed and then had to run to town twice because we were short supplies that we should not have been short.
But we worked for about, Skanes and I worked for about 12 hours, and Gypsy and Darren showed up a little bit later. They had stuff they had to do in the morning.
Take care of animals.
And so I came home Saturday night, and I was supposed to have a work weekend next weekend. I called it. We were, like I said a couple weeks ago, we were going to tear down that trailer out there. Yeah, when the AED is yeah, exactly. Don't think that didn't cross our minds. But I came back Saturday night and went out on our private Discord and let the community know that this was an urgent thing and people need to turn out. And the next day we had 4 more people there, and we got it was probably
more than that. Jess, Joe,
Mike,
Tag.
That would be 4.
Daniel, Darren.
Daniel was. I said 4 more people.
Oh, then
but we got it about 60% finished, and then we went out yesterday afternoon.
Redneck came out.
Yeah, he came out. So 5. But we got it to the point we went out yesterday and did some more work, and Axe and Gypsy were going to go out there and work on it today while Skanes went and got supplies and all that. She's on her way home now, isn't she?
No, she's on her way back here. She was working today. They got to get that house. Got to be wet. That shed has to be weather tight today.
Okay.
She's got to be able to move into it.
But so we're doing a lot of work, and then next weekend, I told everybody, be there. This is what community is about, and they showed up, and probably more people show up to finish it next Saturday if we have to. Actually, I got half a day, so I'm going to go work on it on Friday afternoon. But and it was nice. It was really nice seeing everybody out there, and I thought it was a good time.
It was a good time. We were laughing and just having a ton of fun.
And
everybody was joking. Nobody was crying. Nobody was bitching at each other. It was just like, what do we need to do next? And then Skanes ended up having to run to town to get supplies because Tag was cutting. So no surprise, we were short lumber. Although I think we were short lumber, but he doesn't.
It was
help.
her fault.
Yeah, but he doesn't help.
He cuts it perfectly every time, right?
Sure. And then he finds extra stuff to cut for. And then, so she ran to town, and she was gone for a long time. Like, we were really concerned at first, and then we were like, "Well, decisions have to be made because we got to move forward." So everybody just decided whatever is best for the building, that's how we're going to move forward. Hopefully she likes it. If she doesn't, too bad. So she's going to have to live with it.
So Leonard wants us to back up a little bit.
Okay.
Skanes is moving into the community, and she needs a shed to put all her stuff in. And so we're helping her build a shed that she can put her stuff in.
Yep.
And she starts a new job next Tuesday. A very nice job too. Very nice job. We'll let her tell people when she wants. But so that's what we're doing. We're trying to get this house up. And I feel bad for her because she's been up here several times, like
she's really been trying to work over the summer to get things done.
Well, at least 4 times over the last 2 months.
And then it has always poured. And when I say poured, we're talking like one weekend
her truck got
6
stuck
to 8
there.
inches of rain.
Her trailer
got stuck. Couldn't get it out without getting the truck stuck.
Yep.
And then there was a problem with bumblebees. There were bumblebees everywhere. That stung the crap out of her and G one weekend.
Well, I got stung here.
The following weekend,
it rained.
Scott got stung. He was running from bees.
No, that was the same weekend.
No, it wasn't. I thought it was
no. That was weekend. The same. That was the same weekend.
As back to back.
Yep.
Okay, and then the following weekend it rained, so she went out and crushed the bees. That was funny. So she took the truck and had a can of spray out the window and kept it cracked, and then was spraying and running the lumber back and forth over with the truck so that she could kill whatever nest was in there. It worked.
Yeah.
The only thing that was out there was sweat bees.
And you did say something wrong about Sunday. I'm sorry, Saturday.
There
was crying this weekend out on the job site. I did.
Why? Oh yeah.
So I had to move. There was some wood in the way. I was backing the truck up so I could unload lumber right on the job site, and there was a 4x4, an 8-foot 4x4 sitting there. So I got out and I chucked it, and the laws of physics in Northeast Kansas came unglued for about half a second, and that board hit the ground and came straight back about 2 feet and knocked me right in the shin. And I didn't curse very loud, but Darren said, "I saw you do the dance."
Well, what was super funny, Indiana Mike pointed out
what
that log throwing is in your
the Irish and Scottish, yeah.
Log throwing is in your DNA. That should have never happened.
But I worked through it. It was uncomfortably painful, while I was out there. But I came home. I had to come home and put the animals out on pasture, and I sat down on a bucket out there to watch them. And within 45 minutes, I was almost in tears. Seriously, that's how bad it hurt. And I came in and I had told her I had hurt myself out there. She knew it because she was out there.
But he had pants on and I couldn't see it.
And I wasn't gimping around that much. But I hobbled back into the house and I had shorts on my shoulder. And she's like, oh, my God. Got really concerned. And then Skanes came in. And
how did I do that?
Oh, my God.
Is that really how
That's
I did
how you
that?
sounded. Yeah, and you moved your head like that, too.
Did I?
Yeah.
I get a little ghetto in there.
Yeah.
Okay.
But Skanes came in and went into Nurse Cindy mode, and within a couple of minutes, they had me on the
Recliner with his feet up above his heart,
with my foot up and
ice
ice
every
on
20 minutes.
it. And it was so uncomfortable I couldn't get to sleep. I finally went to bed at 11 because I was passing out, but I kept waking up because it hurt, and I went to bed and I didn't get to sleep for another hour because it hurt so bad. But it's still kind of sore. I've got a good, decent bone bruise, and I got a big contusion. It didn't break any skin, but I got a.
No, you can definitely tell he burst open a blood vessel.
But at one point Saturday night, the lump on my shin was about the size of a grapefruit.
Looked like a blood clot.
Yeah, and that was where the concern was.
Mm-hmm.
Seriously. But I'm all better now. I kept hurting myself yesterday because I kept banging my shin on the ladder going up and down. What's Starla saying?
I don't know.
Put your glasses on.
I know. I didn't see her former statement. That's the only thing. Got to correct my former post. Maybe I can come up with trailer to a work day from Tamara's, not Dodge City. I am getting senile. Oh, gotcha. Okay. Yeah.
So the G in Grumpy G isn't for Grace. Oh no,
no.
Actually, you know what? I'm a pretty good dancer.
Hey, Anti.
Hey. Anti and All American. Both of you coming in.
Yeah.
What you guys doing?
Oh, and I went and got new glasses, as y'all can see. Real prescription glasses.
You got them all.
Well, as you can see. And great deal. Told him what I paid for him, what the cost was for the exam. Guess who agreed to go get his eyes checked and go get a pair of glasses?
As soon as I can save up money, I'm not
going
to do it on credit.
$65.
I'm not gonna.
You can get
it costs more than $65.
No, it doesn't.
What was the total cost?
It was $55 for the glasses and $10 for the exam.
Okay. And why did I pay 80 something or 120 something for?
Because I got the BOGO. And it wasn't for the optometrist. It was for a second pair of glasses.
So it cost more than what you said.
Me, because I got the BOGO, don't get the BOGO.
Maybe I want the BOGO.
Who turns down a BOGO? You have to be kind of nuts to turn down a BOGO.
See, this is female thinking 101.
I saved us money.
She saved us money by spending money.
You know as well as I do, I would have had to go get another pair of glasses here in 6 months.
She makes awesome sandwiches.
I heard you. You're full of it today.
But yeah, so that was what we did most of the week.
Yeah.
A lot of taking care of just everyday stuff around here. I got some escapee goats though. I'm on the cusp of actually shooting a couple of goats and just leaving them out for the coyotes.
No, you're not doing that. They'll be dog meat.
Yeah. But no, in all seriousness though, they're getting out and I can't figure out where, and it's only 3 of them. It's not like
I know exactly where they're getting out.
There's
several different places, and it's right up here in that original paddock that we didn't refence. And it's at that gate where I
took care of the gate.
That gate is not properly set. You know that as well as
I took care of the stuff on this side.
I mean,
so
you can redneck it all you want.
Well,
it's got to be done proper.
That's why I need a work day.
That's why you need a work day.
And I need money.
I understand.
So we do what we can with.
We're not the only ones though. Like I was leaving Skanes and heading down the road, and I'm just cruising along, listening to the radio, and I'm like, "What is that gigantic thing running at me? Is that a dog? What is that?" And the closer I get, I realize there was a cab in the middle of the road. It sees my car, and it's like, "Mama, mama, mama." And then when I get close to it, it's like, "Oh, you're not my mom, your car." And so I was trying to run it to wherever it was going, because it did turn around and look like it was going to go back. And finally, I was like, my car's not doing it, because I wasn't in the truck. The diesel truck, I have no problem driving cattle in where they need to go. And so this one wasn't having it. And so it finally went and stood at a fence, and it was mooing. So I was like, that's where it belongs. So I had to go down the road and turn around, because I had called Hacks, and I'm like, hey, grab your truck, come down and help me drive this calf in, because it's going to get hit. It was on a busy dirt road that crosses from the highway. So I knew it was going to be toast. And so nobody, or the vehicle that hit it, was going to be toast. So we knew we needed to do something. So they came up. That damn thing. It goes out into the bean field. Daniel goes out to the bean field to try to run it back. I moved back. I've got the gate open, but trying to make it so that other cattle don't get out. And because other cattle are like, what's the commotion out there? And so then we finally run it in, get it in. I lock the gate, and all they see is the truck, because Hacks has the same truck that I do, except his isn't diesel. And so they saw the truck, and they're like, it's time to eat. So everybody came up to the gate, and I'm like,
well, and that's kind of
how it goes.
That's one of the things about living out in the country, is you got to deal with animals out there. I had to stop. I was heading to church on a 2-lane highway, state highway, and I had to stop and help somebody get a cow and 2 foals in.
Yeah, if you're nice, you'll do that. If you don't care, you'll just keep going. But
so
Kansas, we like to take care of
Terminator
each other.
says she finally got her chickens done. They weighed 8 pounds each.
Good for you.
We butchered chickens Sunday morning before I went back over to Scaines' place. Went up to the Hacks place, and we spent about 4 hours butchering chickens. I took some roosters up there, trying to get rid of, and after I butchered all these roosters, I come home and I'm like, that's a rooster and that's a rooster. They're young, so I don't need to be butchering right now, but I got a whole bunch of other roosters, so I have to in the next 30 days get a chicken tractor done.
Because I'd like them to have meat on their bones before we take them out.
Yeah, but I need to get it, because we got too many roosters, and we lost a lot of egg layers. I was looking at the flock, and we lost probably 2/3 of our egg layers,
which
summer.
Is weird.
They got predators, and some of them went over to the neighbor's house, and so, but we've got 30 juveniles out there.
Yeah, but if you'll give me tractors next year, because I really want to get, I'm either going to get Brahma Giants or Jersey Giants. I might just get both and see which one I like better. And so that is happening. So I need tractors.
Well, I need money.
No, for what?
To build the tractor.
All the material is out there.
No, they're not. I gotta buy corner pieces for them. And if you want
it
more,
was all out there. The goats broke all of that.
No, it's all glued on. So
I don't understand.
You can't reuse the corners and stuff because there's broken bits in it, or they're glued to the wrong length. And I don't. If I cut it to the right length, I'm going to need some more.
Well, you got the time to save that, so because it's
yeah.
going to take me a while before they can go out there. So we just need some designated. But I don't want to spend all. Like, I'm serious, right? I don't want to spend all the money out there because the house needs to get started working on.
That's fine.
Like, I'm serious.
That's fine.
And especially now, Scaines is going to be
worked on? I didn't know that.
No, I mean, it needs to start. We need some priority in here than out there.
I know.
So, but
I've got the list. I know exactly what the list is, and I'm going to take care of it.
Sure.
But we don't have any money right now. We don't have any money to do either one of them.
I mean, that's not true. So all of it, no, we don't. But there is money allocated. So, and there's nothing wrong with doing a little bit at a time. We just don't have 70 grand to go throwing into the back of the house.
As soon as we get our debt restructured,
I don't even care.
We will get it taken care of.
Oh my God. Anyway, so frustrating things of life and things happening. There's just that accident has set us back so far.
Well, and the Impala crapping out on us too, and the Jeep blowing up this last year. None of that helped, and it all came to a head when we had to buy that car. See, guys, this is the important of taking care of your finances and staying on top of your finances.
And we have options of cashing in investments and doing all of that, but why do that?
And
we can have our debt paid off faster than lose money on our investments.
And quite frankly, guys, we're talking about it like it's a big big troublesome thing.
Oh no,
It's not.
We're nowhere
it's an
near.
inconvenience.
Yeah, we're nowhere where a lot of people are.
It's an irritating inconvenience. It's a very irritating inconvenience. But it's not. None of this has been an emergency.
Well, of what we had to buy,
Well,
or
no.
what put us here, I would disagree as an emergency.
What put us here was an emergency, but
Right.
the financial situation now is not an
Oh,
emergency.
it's not an emergency. No.
It's not an emergency.
It's not worth cashing everything in.
Everything's getting taken care of, which is a good thing. Yeah, Len, I'm telling you, the last 2 days I've been really exhausted.
Yeah,
Seriously.
I mean, all we've been doing was working.
The cost of living, even for homesteading, is getting to be out of control.
It is, and you got to find ways to cut corners, but you have to be careful. Don't cut those corners that are going to cost you more money. And so, because there are people cutting those corners and they're regretting it, and G and I'll tell them, don't do that. You don't want to do that. Just go ahead and spend the money now. And inevitably they're having to rebuild something.
Yeah. Rule number 1, don't lose money. Rule number 2, don't forget rule number 1. Warren Buffett, absolutely. Right. Gregory says he tells Susie all the time, where did all the money go? I still have checks. Yep. I know somebody that used to be like that. Somebody, as long as there were checks in the checkbook, there was money.
Should mean there's money.
In fact, Finger Hut sent us a Christmas thank you note one year.
It was a kid. Why you always got you just got to unpack your bag.
Adult.
I was still a kid.
You were 21.
I was 20.
That's not a kid.
That is a kid.
This is part of the problem with our society. Is 20 still 25's a kid?
No, I thought I was an adult, but now that I'm older, I know I was a kid.
No, you were an adult acting like a kid.
I was a kid acting like an adult.
No, I'm sorry.
I'm telling
at
you,
20,
there's our kids weren't even responsible at 20, so stop it.
They were still adults.
I know a lot
and they
of
should pay the price.
I know a lot of 20-year-olds that aren't adults. They're kids.
But this is why we take care of our financial stuff seriously. And speaking of financial stuff, tomorrow's live for the City Survival 101 happens to be on financial security, financial preparedness is what it is. And so
I forgot to grab that paper.
Tomorrow at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. I hope if you're free, you can join me, and we'll talk about it. It's a very interesting topic, and it's the dynamics of financial preparedness are completely different than all the other aspects in full spectrum preparedness. There's a whole lot more psychology involved in it, and the way you prepare, the nuts and bolts of it are a little bit different, and it's a very interesting subject. And then hopefully, how about next Monday night?
I don't want to do it back to back, and especially not on a Monday. You know what it's like for me to come home on a Monday. Oh, that's Labor Day. You don't want to do it on Labor Day.
Okay.
No, it needs to be during the week. It can be Thursday you have men's Bible study. Yeah. It could be Friday. We do it Friday.
No, then you're going up against Tag and B.
Not if I do it later. What if I do it later?
Maybe.
And then so yeah, you can do that, and then you guys can just watch it on the replay. So what we're going to go over is all of the new fraud that's coming through, the things that are happening as far as losing your money and not being able to recoup your money, and what it means when it gets down to federal regulations as far as can I really file a dispute and get my money back for that? Or am I just crap out of luck? Because you don't realize it, but most of the time you're crap out of luck. And I'm going to explain to you why, so that you don't do it.
Starless says it's 65 degrees down there in Texas. It's
downright chilly.
That's
I have a sweater on.
The other big news this week is the heat finally broke. Saturday it was hot, and I'm not going to lie. There were times I had to sit down. One of the things when you have cardiac problems is the heat and the extreme cold affect you differently than it used to. And I was standing up and getting that gray out because the blood's.
Yeah, I guess he looked at Skanes and everybody and said, "Did the clouds just pass over?" And everybody was like, "No, it's sunny." and then it hit Skanes right away and everybody else that was there, you need to go sit down and drink water right now.
Well, and that's
he was
why
getting ready to fall out.
That's why I was asking people because my blood pressure is not the best. It's a little low sometimes. And if I stand up too quick, you know how you get lightheaded whenever you do that? Well, with me, I call them gray outs. And I stood up really quick and it looked like a cloud had rolled across the sun. You know how it gets gray like that all of a sudden? And that's why I was asking. I wanted to know if a cloud had rolled over or if I was having problems. And they were like, no, it's still sunny. I was like, okay, I'm going to go sit down and get some water. Yeah. I stayed hydrated all day long, but it's just the heart thing and pacing yourself, you know? So yeah, it was 58 degrees last night here. It was awesome.
So you didn't even ask them. I mean, is that a video that anybody wants to see what I'm doing, or everybody knows what they're talking, what they know, and they don't need to know anymore?
Is it their channel?
Well, no, I just want to know if anybody's interested. I want to sit on there by myself.
Put a one in the chat. Out of the 29 people watching this right now, put a one in the chat if a financial preparedness video about financial threats you're facing today, the ever-changing landscape of financial.
Not what you're doing, but what I'm.
That's
doing.
what I'm saying.
Okay.
That's what I'm asking. Put a one in there if you think her idea for a live on that is a good idea. And the reason why we're doing a live is because they're so much easier to do than filming a video and editing it and then posting it. See, everybody's saying.
The important people.
The important people. You know, and here's the deal.
Anti is a question mark or a clock.
Here's the deal.
Oh, it's 1 o'clock. I see. I gotcha.
Here's the deal with it. If only one person watches it, the video is still out there.
Yeah, and at least that one person can tell
somebody can see it.
All right.
Hey, everybody, do me a favor. So, speaking of one person liking it, go down and YouTube changed some policies today and put some new programs in place, and they've promoted what they call the hype system. And supposedly, if you click on a video, a like that somebody that's eligible for this, and I am because I looked it up, it's supposed to pop something up so you can hype the video.
Did you see that also? This new share your referral link.
That's StreamYard. That's not YouTube.
Oh,
and that's been on. It's been on there forever.
Oh, well, I can finally see now. So.
I keep having to edit it out.
Oh.
Yeah, they were making fun of me because they're like trying to talk me from across the field, you know, in the job site, and I'm like, look, they're trying to show me something, and I'm like, look, all I can hear is tinnitus, and all I can see is fuzzy trees. You're gonna have to come closer and speak more clearly for me to understand you.
Oh my goodness!
You know, it's one of those things.
Funny.
Let's see. Question. I'll send you the info. Okay, I missed the first part. Is that what that is? Is that a question?
I don't know. I can't see it now because you.
No,
it's a clock.
Okay.
It says 1 o'clock.
Yeah, send me a.
Oh, question of Bub. I'll send you the info if you don't have it. Maybe that is.
I
missed it somewhere right there.
Okay, we're going back. We're backtracking. Read that.
Herbivorous Farm. Do you know about the woman who has been fully getting thousands of vets their full VA benefits and retroactively all of them too? Woman. So
send that to me.
Yeah, send us the link. So yeah, this is like that woman's keeping them or getting them for the veterans. The veterans.
She's doing the paperwork for them.
Oh, okay.
And there's a lot of companies out there
that do that. Yeah, attorneys will do it too. In fact, if you get with your local VFW, American Legion, there are liaisons that do that, and they'll help you with all the paperwork and get you through that. So. There's a lot of them, but yeah, if you have some specialty, somebody can use it.
If I didn't hate the VA so much, I would have persisted on that. But so will the VFW. So will the VFW. But I just despise the VA and dealing with them.
He got frustrated and just quit.
It was all I could do to deal with them as much as I did. And as soon as they started playing their stupid games, I was like, I'm out. It's not that important. You know,
you could go to the VFW and get your eye exam, or not the VFW. You could go to the VA and get your eye exam and your glasses for free.
Can you do that?
Yes.
Oh, then I have to deal with the VA.
I mean, can you not walk in and get an eye exam and a pair of glasses?
She gets them. Yeah, she gets the benefits for them. Yep.
Yeah. So yeah.
Oh, she was on Sean Ryan. Okay.
Yeah. So send the information. That'd be great. We could share that. I get people that ask all the time, especially, people that I work with on a daily basis. They're struggling with a lot of times their kids are trying to help them and they're just at a loss. So I've been able to help them get somewhat further. But yeah, if I had her information, that'd be great.
Yeah. So give me a second, guys.
What are you doing? Oh, there.
Okay. Enter. Okay. Sorry, I had to do some administrative work for a second. Where are they? There they are. My VA is pretty good, nearly free medical for life.
Yeah, ours is too. Somebody's afraid that he's gonna go get something checked out and never.
You were a pogue too, man.
Never get out.
You were a pogue too, man, and that's pretty good. Don't worry, man. I was a pogue for most of my Marine Corps time too. Actually, I was.
People probably don't know what a pogue is.
A pogue is people other than grunts, and I was pogue-ish at one. I was a pogue for most of the time, and then I was pogue-ish because I was playing what?
War games.
I don't know. It's a thing. It's a thing. It's a derogatory term, but it's a term of love too. You just have to be there to really understand it.
Yeah. So
and I'll tell you what, Len and I, when we were in Washington, D.C., we served under probably one of the best Marine Corps officers out of my almost 10 years in.
Colonel Boggs.
That man, he was good. Let's just put it that way.
And man, did he try to hold on you.
Yeah, I don't know.
Literally, he sent me a letter and it was time for G's reenlistment. He sent me a letter and actually made the comment.
Stop.
It's because Gaines is pulling in.
I know.
And he had actually sent me a letter and asked me to encourage Garen to stay in. And, we talked about it and it was just one of those things. And I had to politely reply, I've got to do what's the best for Garen. And hindsight 2020, that wasn't the best. We just needed to be transferred. Right.
Look at that. Now, look at that. Now Lynn's throwing out how smart he is because the ASVAB open contract. ASVAB is the Armed Services Vocational Aptitude Battery, and that's when they figure out what job you're best at.
Right.
And most of the guys, with a couple of exceptions, most of the guys that we served with in that unit, in our department, were pretty damn smart.
Well, was he not in the same amount of time you were? Because he didn't have to do security forces. Isn't it mandatory to do security forces for 2 years?
No.
Oh, you just volunteered for that?
That was a B billet. So if you okay, guys, here's a little military thing. I don't know what you want to call it. So in the military, if you want to make it a career, at some point in your second enlistment, you want to do second or third enlistment, you want to do what's called a B billet. And this is a job that is not your primary MOS, but you go do it for a couple of years. And the Marine Corps has several of them. You had Marine Corps Security Forces, you had Embassy Guard, you had drill instructor, and you had recruiter. Well, I didn't want to be recruiter because I'd done recruiter's assistance, and that is an unforgiving job. And guys, if you ever meet a military recruiter, you need to buy them a cup of coffee. Seriously, it is an unforgiving job. It ruins many a career. The drill instructor, yeah, I'm not drill instructor material. this body was not made for running, and they do a lot of running. And then the embassy guard, I wasn't that type of Marine. I wasn't a picture book Marine. So security forces is what it was. And when I was on,
you looked pretty picture book to me when we met.
when I was on security forces, we were basically a light infantry platoon without the infantry. Well, most of the lower ranking enlisted were infantry, and the first sergeant was infantry, and the gunny was infantry, and our XO and commander CO were both combat arms guys. So, and then we had the NCOs. There was a smattering of other MOSs in there. In fact, there were two of us in that detachment that were actually in the computer MOS when we went in there. So there you go.
Starla, are you talking about Colonel John Boggs?
Yes, as a matter of fact.
That's exactly who we're talking about. How does Starla know him?
How do you know that name? She probably looked it up.
Oh,
if she knows him,
she's pretty smart about.
If she knows him, I want to get his address. Yeah, I want to write him.
He wants to thank him.
I want to thank him.
Yeah,
he kept me sane those last 2 years I was in the Marine Corps.
Yeah. There's nothing worse than being a good Marine and getting stationed to Washington D.C. It'll ruin a marriage. It'll ruin if you're just out of boot camp and you get stationed there, it's fine. It's not a bad. That's gig. The place to be.
But if you've been in the Marine Corps for any amount of time and you go there,
it's a political swamp.
It is. I knew I was in trouble. They were nice enough, so we got there and we had our son 2 days after we got to Washington D.C. I hadn't even checked into the unit, and they let me have some extra time so I could take care of the getting the apartment and the baby and all that. But I went to go check in, and they were vacuuming the dirt. And I was like, oh, my God, what have I gotten myself into? Let's see.
I've heard of him before on the news.
Yeah, probably a different one.
And just looked him up to see if it was him. He served during Rumsfeld term.
I don't know if it was the same one.
No, not the same one. He was younger.
Because he was a lieutenant colonel. Well,
could have been his dad, maybe.
No, he could have
went somewhere else.
Rumsfeld was during the Bush years. He very well could have been.
Yeah, could have been.
He very well could have been there. Your son met him in Arizona. Huh, interesting. Well, he was a good officer. Yeah. But who knew that on a Tuesday night, late August, you're going to come to a live and you're going to learn about how the Marine Corps works. And you're going to learn Marine Corps stuff. See, only on our live would that happen. Every place else, man, they've got this whole program they want to feed you. We're just kind of winging it here, guys. We have no idea.
Right? That's true, Lynn. 8th and 9th trash cans, even they gleamed.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That's true.
On the next Marine Corps birthday, we'll have to do a live, and I'll get you on there, Lynn, and we'll get a couple up. We'll see if there was anybody else that was 8th and I in the crowd, and we will bag on 8th and I. I'm telling you what, man, it was. Oh my gosh. It was a complete trip. Yeah. They actually wrote a white paper because of me at the Marine Barracks, because they had this special ceremonial parade rest that they did that was not in any field manual, and it wasn't nothing written about it. It was just, it had always been done that way. And I was like, that's not the proper way to do it. There's nothing in the DNC that says that's the way you stand at parade rest. But they've been doing it since the barracks. Yes. Since the barracks had been founded, or since they started doing the ceremonial stuff. And they did a white paper and said, this is the way you do it. And I was like, okay. And I shut my mouth. Susie asked, what years did I serve? I was in from late 86 to early 95, so about 9.5 years. The first 8 months I was in the first 10 months. The first 10 months I was in was boot camp, and then I was in a reserve unit in Kansas City, and I augmented and went active duty, and then I re-enlisted once. So I enlisted once and re-enlisted twice, if you want to be technical about it. Mm-hmm. Lynn, how long were you in? For some reason, there was somebody there. Some of the barracks had signed up for a 6-year contract. So I don't remember if it was Len or somebody. But we had fun. We had fun. I mean, it was
Good night, Starla. Starla has stalked Colonel Boggs now. Now we know how to find his phone number and his address.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna have to look him up and see if it's the same Colonel Boggs.
Oh my goodness, that's funny.
But I should have listened to him. He was really good at the stock market, and he loved talking about it. And I should have listened to him. But
yeah,
at that point in time,
we were young.
We didn't have 2 nickels to rub together, and investing in the stock market.
Being newly married with children, or a child, because we were just starting out, trying to survive Washington, D.C. That was rough.
Yeah, and so
really
we couldn't live on base housing because they had condemned all the base housing over at Anacostia. There were 400 units over there.
Air Force Base shut everything down.
Yeah, they had 400 Navy housing units over there that they shut down. Right.
Quantico had a 2.5-year waiting list. We didn't plan to be around 2.5 years. We were trying to figure out how to get out of there. And I mean, I'm telling you, you couldn't, as a single woman, or I would say single woman was dangerous. You guys never let Pam, another sergeant that was with them, ever PT alone. You guys always did it together. There were men around there. And then you always made sure, that you were with somebody. Now, I didn't always have that luxury. Going to DC and being by yourself, I had to make sure. The only time I ever did that, if I was on if I went to the wharf to get fish or anything like that. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, I was always with somebody, especially if I had Ian, because I had a brand new baby that I was trying to take care of. So it made me very vulnerable. Going to pick him up from work, because we shared a vehicle. Going to pick him up from work, you did not stop at stop signs. Police wouldn't say nothing. You just didn't stop, because there were people literally on every single corner ready to hijack your vehicle. So and that was back in 93. Mm-hmm. So when Trump is telling you it's dangerous now, and last night they made 1,000 arrests, and the crime is going way down and doing all that because now National Guard is present, I get it. But I guarantee you that's only the tip of the iceberg. They can make it much, much cleaner.
So Lynn makes a good point here. So they spent $40,000 training him on computers. Instead of wasting it, he got out and got a high-paying job.
Yep.
And so the early 90s guys in the computer field was kind of like the Wild West. And we were literally writing the rules as we were going along.
Yep.
And that time,
how fun was that?
That time period between from about 93 to
2000.
About 2000, whenever the .com bubble burst, so that would have been what, 99?
Where
98?
We were still in Grandview. I think it was about, I thought that happened. Oh yeah, no, because we had to dig ourselves out of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, 99, 2000, somewhere around there.
But that time period for IT guys was awesome. The jobs paid really well. I got out of the Marine Corps.
Money was rolling in. I
got out of the Marine Corps with benefits and everything, my pay and all the bonuses I got. I was making about $35K a year, and I got out and immediately got a job for $35K. And within 2 years, I was making 45. And
it doesn't sound like a lot now.
Oh, that was a lot.
It was.
Well, especially in Kansas City at the time.
It was a lot.
The cost of living was really low.
I didn't have to work. I was able to stay home and take care of the kids. It was crazy. And then the .com wave died.
Yeah. Lynn says he didn't mind Okinawa. He didn't want to waste the training. No use. No use in training in Okinawa for my training. But yeah, if you're a single guy, Okinawa used to be the place to go, especially the exchange rate when I was there. And Lynn would have been there right after I left. The exchange rate was like when I got there, it was 190. By the time I left, it was down to about 170. So if you're a single guy living in the barracks, you could have I know I had a good time. I had a great time. I had an awesome time. Can't tell you in the stories here because YouTube will get me banned.
This is what I have to deal with.
Oh, so yeah. So that's it on the Okinawa, the Marine Corps front. And have we kind of hit everything on the?
I think so, because anything else that I want to talk about, the fraud and everything, what's new this week, I want to save that for that video. I think it's very important, so I can go into some details, but I want to give examples, things like that, what to be looking for. This is coming through phone calls, email, and they sound legit. We're going to talk about spoofing, what that means. We're going to talk about all of this stuff. I guess I can say this. If you get a phone call from your bank telling you that they need to confirm something like that, if you get a pop-up in your computer that says you've been compromised, call this number, call your bank first. Yes, your software has nothing to do with your bank. Call your bank first, because we know what's going on, because we've heard it from others.
Well, and I can tell you right now, so I've been cybersecurity certified for going on almost 10 years now. And when I was working for the DoD, got all the weekly updates that went out through the DoD on cybersecurity and all this stuff. And I'm telling you, in the last 2 weeks, I've had two phishing emails. They're trying to get information. They're trying to hack your stuff.
Yep.
I've had 2 emails that I had to stop and actually dig into them
to see if they were real.
To see if they were real. They're getting so good. In fact, the one we had today, the one of them happened today, and what they did was, it's called spoofing, where they take like this one was PayPal. They spoofed a PayPal address and sent a invoice or a receipt to you.
Karen called me and he's like, "Hey, have you seen this?"
No, this was different. This is different. This one.
That wasn't on ours?
No, this was completely different than the one I was talking to you about. But this one looked like a legitimate email address. In fact, if you looked it up and did the research on it, unless you had the network tools and all that, it looked legit. But they attached an attachment to it, so they're getting people to click on this attachment, and then they've got their hooks in.
Yeah, the danger is AI now is starting to help them rewrite these programs and spoof numbers and all of that. So actually, they're using AI to their benefit to steal from you. And we'll talk about that more. We don't have to go into detail here. So why don't I see where Skeins is at, see what we need to do with her.
Turn that light
on. I'll turn the light on for her so she can see. I'm so ate up. Well, I'm already ate up. I might as well go take care of chickens. I can do that. It's not muddy out there, right?
HG, the only place you can trust QR codes is right here on this channel. I say that because I made a QR code for, where's EMP Shield today? There you go. Now you can see it. I made a QR code for EMP Shield, and since Angela's walking off and leaving me to my own devices, I think
she hasn't even pulled in yet.
I think she's not leaving me. She's leaving me.
I'll let you go, Paul.
Oh, she said she trusts me. She trusts me. So EMPshield.com. We talked about it last week. This is becoming more and more important, guys. The protection from EMPs and lightning strikes and coronal mass ejections. These are really important, right? So you guys need to get on this. And if you go to EMPshield.com and you order something, use the code Grumpy, and you'll get $50 off your order. I'm sorry, $50 off every device that you order, and we get a little kickback from it. And I'm telling you right now, that's a good thing, because Lord knows we're not making any money off of the stocks that we bought. I'm not saying that's a good thing. Actually, in this case, it's a good thing, because the company has expanded, and they're even with the pullback in the economy and the how do I put this? People taking their foot off the pedal now that Trump's back in office. They're still making money, and they're still helping people at a very large clip. I was talking to Tag about that this weekend, and yeah, it's impressive. All right, Terminator says good night. I've got a lot of work to do tomorrow, trying to get all the ruins gone. Can't move forward until it's gone, and I only have a certain amount of time, or they're taking me to court.
Did she get the trailer, the camper?
Yoda wants to know if you got the camper there, Lucy. Hopefully she did. Thank you, Anti. Oh, thank you, Anti. Yeah, we're going to talk a little politics. A little politics, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. So the first thing I want to talk, let's spend some time and go through the American Stewards and see what the 3 big news articles are there. The ones this week are really kind of neat, guys. Bear with me for a second. I'm going to pull this up. American Stewards. Go there. Go there. I'm reading off my tablet so I can see the comments while we're talking. All right, guys. So the 3 big articles this week. The first one is Representative Tom Tiffany from Wisconsin. He's a Republican from Wisconsin. So let's give credit where credit's due, okay? He's been leading an effort to stop wind and solar projects from destroying American farmlands and to keep China from owning farmlands. He's making headway. It's starting to pay off. He is the man that was responsible. Remember last week we were talking about how they had stopped that stuff. He was the man that was responsible for that. And if you live almost any place in the Sun Belt in America, this is a big issue. But he's the one that did it. So the next one actually affects Kansas. This is a topic that hits a lot. It hits all the way from Texas up through the Great Plains. But the greater prairie chicken is the greater prairie chicken. Anyway, the prairie chicken has been delisted off the endangered animals list. There was a big coalition of Texas and Kansas and Oklahoma companies that went in together and sued the federal government, and they've finally taken that off. And the reason why that's important is because it was affecting a lot of oil production and a lot of farming. The federal government under the Biden administration was trying to keep people from using the land, and so they put them on the endangered species list. And this is the reason this is important is twofold, guys. The first one is because it's federal overreach. They're weaponizing federal agencies against the people. The Biden administration did that. The Obama administration did that. And this is probably going to upset some people. Trump's doing it too. And we'll talk about that here in just a bit. And the third one was Texas and climate change. No climate crisis in the Lone Star State. So Texas basically told the climate people, yeah, we don't have that issue here. The science does not withhold it or does not uphold it. The stats, the statistics don't uphold it. So go stuff yourselves. And that's basically what they did. More states need to be doing that. This is how we deal with government overreach and the leftists. Here's the thing. The climate changes. Period. It changes. Only a fool would say that the climate doesn't change. The issue is, number one, is it man-made? I don't think there's any evidence that proves that. In fact, everything points to the contrary. And number two, if there's a problem caused by climate change, the answer doesn't have to be taxes or taking people's rights away. So you don't have to do that. You can take and there's so many other ways you can take care of it. Good conservation takes care of it. Proper zoning and planning takes care of it. But we don't take care of it by stealing people out of people's pockets or taking away their property and telling them they can't use their property the way they see fit. Because quite frankly, I know more about my situation and I am a better judge of how my money should be spent than the federal government. And even if I'm mismanaging my money, what business is it to the federal government or the taxpayers, unless I'm asking you to pay for my stuff? Lynn says, just read on the origin of species. Yes, Darwin. Would it surprise you to know that there was no real difference between species and varieties? It is a judgment call, by the way. Most species are extinct. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And man's going to be extinct one day. You know? Yeah, absolutely. You know, and again, it's the theory of evolution. It's not the science of evolution. There's some great big gaping holes in it. And quite frankly, the theological, the creationist theory is just as viable from the evidence as the evolutionary theory. You know, people don't like hearing that, but the simple fact is it's true. You know, okay. So there's some wins. Those are we started off with 3 wins. Now let's talk about Trump for a second. So the big topic today has been the executive order about burning flags and how it can land you in prison. Listening to a lot of stuff on YouTube and on the radio today, there's a lot of people freaking out about it, and frankly, yes, there's a reason to be concerned, but freaking out about it, and saying that the next step is martial law and all this other stuff combined with the DC stuff, you know, that's a little over the top. So here's my take on it, and my take in $1.50 will get you a coffee at McDonald's. Well, will it get you? Will $1.50 get you coffee at McDonald's? I don't know. I don't drink coffee, and I haven't been to McDonald's in almost a year. But anyway, so he wrote this executive order, and the way executive orders work, they only affect the federal executive or the federal executive branch and federal properties that the executive branch manages. Now, theoretically, if I were to go out and I were to film myself burning an American flag out there, they could use this executive order and come get me. So in 1976, somebody looked that up. 1976 or sometime around there, Supreme Court said, nope, you can burn American flags. So the fact that he made it illegal to burn American flags, the way it was presented, I'm not saying it's the way it was written, because I have not read the executive order, but the way it was presented seems to fly right in the face of that Supreme Court ruling. And if you're an originalist, then that should concern you. And the thing that concerns me about that the most is the fact that Trump unnecessarily burned a lot of political capital that he can ill afford to lose. And I'm not saying that because I'm a big Trump supporter. I'm saying that because his policies and what he's doing has done more good for the country than bad. You know, I voted for him because I thought he was the best person for the job. And by and large, that's been true. He's done a good job. HG says Texas versus Johnson in 1984. Okay. Yeah, it was sometime. It was back when we were kids. That's all I know. So, and the logic of it, though, on the flip side of that coin, you know, it puts us on a slippery slope. But on the flip side of the coin, I can see the logic behind it. And bear with me. And you guys, if you think the logic is off here, you tell me. You tell me if I'm right or wrong. So the logic is, you know, you can't burn an American flag someplace where it's not supposed to be burned. You can't walk into a department store and burn an American flag as free speech, right? So with everything that's going on with the protesters and the violent protesters, the burning down cities and doing all that stuff, that executive order could make federal properties restricted areas for that type of behavior. So burning an American flag is a danger on those properties. And past experience dictates future expectations. And that could be a prelude to a violent attack on a federal facility. Okay. I can see the logic behind that. Was the presentation ham-fisted? I don't know. I honestly don't know. I know that the mainstream media is using it as another dog whistle to scare people, just like the federal troops in Washington D.C. You know, and when I say people, I'm not talking about just liberals. There are a ton of patriot and prepper channels that are apoplectic about it. Did I say that right? Anyway, they're going nuts about it, and they're doing videos left and right about precursor, martial laws coming to you. And I'm talking big people that I enjoy watching. They're talking like this, and it doesn't do any good, because number one, when we were in Washington, D.C., they had federal troops in Washington, D.C. when we were there to help crime. In fact, right outside the Marine Corps barracks, they set up the great big trailers with the halogen lights on them in the alleyways so they couldn't do drug deals. And they had National Guard people going along with the police and everything, and I've heard talk about the posse comitatus being suspended, which, if you don't know what that is, one of the things in the posse comitatus is that federal troops cannot be used for law enforcement within the borders of the United States. And technically, these troops in DC are not affecting arrests as far as I know. Federal officers are, which is completely legal under the law for federal law enforcement officers to do that. The National Guard people there they're doing two things. Number one, they're assisting these officers do their job, just like they're down on the border. They're the National Guard has been on a almost 4-year mission with troops down on the border. They have no ability to arrest people. In fact, all they can do is call Border Patrol and tell them somebody's coming through the border. That's all they can do, and render aid. They're supposed to render aid. As far as I know, they're not violating posse comitatus. They're just there to support. And number two, there's a presence there, and even if they can't arrest people, a presence is about 90% of security, guys. This is one of the things in the preparedness videos that I did about security and the full spectrum preparedness. Having lights, a camera that people can see, having a physical presence someplace will deter most crimes, because most crimes are crimes of opportunity, right? And you see somebody there, even if they're the National Guard guy standing on the corner, that will deter crime, just the mere presence of them being there. And then I heard people, oh, what about they've got live ammo? Hell yeah. If I was a National Guard guy sent to DC to do something like that, or any big blue city, to be honest with you, any big blue city, I would refuse to go if they weren't going to give me ammo. Those places are dangerous. And then you got politicians like that knucklehead in Chicago got on the tube today and talked about how the people of Chicago won't put up with it and that they would revolt. And Lord knows he's not talking about the law-abiding citizens of DC or Chicago. He's not talking about them. He was talking directly to the criminal elements in Chicago. And there's no way that you could send troops in there without being armed, because they got to have a way to defend themselves. And if I was a commander in the National Guard, I would not let my people go. If I was a governor of some place that they were trying to federalize and they say no, they can't have ammo, I wouldn't let them go. There would be a constitutional crisis, because I would put my foot down. Yeah, the broken window theory. And this is, my son's going to hate it. If he watches this, he's going to hate me saying this. But this whole thing in DC is community policing on steroids. You have a presence, you talk to people, and you flood the zone. I'm going to catch 22, of course. I want to put anyone burning our flag out of the universe, but it's not damaging property or others. It's hypothetical about 100% free speech. So catch 22. So here's the deal. And yes, it is. It's a conundrum. It's a conundrum for the patriot and the conservative. There's a solution. They just make ass whoopings legal again. You know, here's the deal, and the government's done this. Both sides have done this. They allow these rights. These people have these rights. They if they can't twist them into existence from an existing right, a real right, they will make them out of whole cloth. And they say these people have a right to do this, but there's no responsibility or accountability behind it. You know, and quite frankly, that I think that's part of the whole thing with what Trump did is accountability. You know, these people, I can do what I want and you can't do anything about it. Well, you know what? Some actions, and anybody that grew up as a Gen Xer can attest to this. Some actions deserve an ass whooping. I know as a teenager and a kid, I got a couple of them from my peers that were 100% deserved. You know, and I'm not going to lie, I did it to some people that I was peers with. You know, so it was a give and take, but we self-policed each other and we did that. You know, but now the problem is we live in a society now that you can't even reprimand somebody without them being disrespected and wanting to kill you. You know, look at that. What was there? There was an MMA fight or something, and the guy beat the son of some big MMA star. This guy went into the ring and pummeled this guy, and it was a white guy that got pummeled, and the guy doing the pummeling was black, and put him in the hospital, crushed his head. They're not sure he's going to be able to talk. They're not sure if he's ever going to walk properly again. And you've got people excusing that type of behavior. And I'm not talking the usual suspects. I'm talking sports writers and everything excusing that type of behavior. And that's a symptom of what's wrong in our society. I'm so ready for the tar and feathering to become norm again. Community decides you're a problem and the deals. Yep, exactly. Well, and it's believe it or not, it's starting to happen in Britain of all places. I saw a video just today of, but you know, I don't know if you guys have been following what's going on over there, but they're putting the Union Jack and the St. George's Cross up, and the government's taking them down, and these guys they're painting them the cross on crosswalks and on traffic circles, and it's becoming a real movement. Well, some British citizens got fed up with the pedophile illegal immigrants, and they're going out at night and they're rounding these guys up, and they're taking care of business. They're not hurting them or anything, but they're rounding them up. They're getting their pictures and they're posting their pictures all over the place. And the heat's starting to come, you know. And in Britain, the government's siding with the illegals. If you're a law-abiding citizen, in fact, the podcast of the Lotus Eaters had a video. 2 young girls got accosted by some grown men with cameras who happened to be of the illegal persuasion, and the one girl had a knife and an axe on it because she knew she needed to defend herself, and they filmed her and they taunted her and everything, and then they took it to the police and said she was threatening him, and there were two little girls, and one of them, from what I heard, got arrested. So they're protecting the illegals. And here in America, if you go to a big blue city, they're doing the same thing. All right. Yeah, you're right. Mob rule is not the community, but the community can turn into a mob and take care of the issue, right? And I'm not advocating violence, but violence is always on the table at some point. It's always got to be on the table, because if violence is not on the table as a solution, then none of the solutions are going to work when the other side has a monopoly on violence. Plain and simple. You know, just like Heckmeyer, you know, reasonable men are forced into unreasonable action. You know, And again, I said it last week. I'm going to say it again. You know, one of the reasons why I get so upset about the politics here is because I don't want to. I elect people. I vote for the guy that's supposed to do the best, that I think is going to do the best job. If my guy doesn't win, the other guy needs to do a good job. They won't do a good job locally. They won't do a good job, so I have to be involved. I have to take time out of my schedule, and I have to go up to these meetings, and I have to engage with these people that don't have my best interests in mind. And I don't like it, but it's my responsibility as a citizen, and it's your responsibility too. There was a Hudson Valley Preparedness and Roaming Prepper and Vision Preparedness, and they had Prepping with Sarge on. They do a thing every week called the Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse, and they just get questions and everything. And they were talking about these subjects tonight, and it occurred to me, you know, if you want to stop all this stuff, even at the federal level, you have to be engaged at the local level. You have to get in. You have to get in and change the culture in order to change the politics. And that's where the baseline for the comment. There is no political solution for this, right? None of that. We can't vote our way out of what's going on here. What we have to do is we have to change the culture. We have to change the people in order to change the politics. And once the people have changed, then we can maybe vote sanity back into our lives. You know, until that point, though, there's no political solution. You can't vote harder. You know, the Republicans and the Democrats too. The Democrats do this to their side. The politicians want you to vote harder. Voting harder will fix the problem. No, it won't. Voting harder has never fixed the problem. There's not a single country or people in the entire history of the world who has been able to vote their way out of tyranny. You know what? They had to take a stand, and they had to do things. So there's my soapbox rant. Lynn says, human history, violence has ended disputes that seem to have no resolution. Nobody wants a war, but they happen all the time. Human history is organized around them. Absolutely. And here's the thing about it in the American context. And this is one of the things that bothers me about the Hate America crew. They don't understand how special America is. The United States and the ideas behind America are an anomaly in human history. Well, and it goes back anywhere from 8 to 12,000 years. The last 250 years, 56 years now, have been an anomaly. The human experience throughout history has been deprivation, tyranny, and subjugation. That's the human. That's the story of human. All right, the story of mankind. That has been it. All right. We are an anomaly. We created a country that promoted a system of philosophy and governance that raised more people out of tyranny and out of poverty than any other country in the history of the world. You know, and they're pissing away our birthright because they've got some weird idea of the way socialism works. Okay, Anti is asking a question. If your street, neighborhood, town, city, state has any of it going on, it's a fruit of those living there, cowering to it and being adverse to it. Oh yeah, absolutely. You know, okay, this is going to get me in trouble. I know there's going to be some people that say something because it happens every time I say this. The people that live in these places where the things happen, especially the big blue dots and the states like California, Oregon, Illinois, they are responsible. Even if you're a conservative or a patriot, you are responsible. You allowed it. If you didn't vote for it, you allowed it to happen because you did not do what you should have done. And that's one of the times, we moved from Missouri to Kansas, not because Missouri was bad, but because this is where our support center was. And quite frankly, if I hit the lotto, I am moving back to Missouri, and I am taking the fight that I'm doing here to Missouri. I'm going to go back home and do it. And while I'm here, I'm going to fight the fight. And that's what people do, and I understand people leaving because of economic reasons and stuff, but at some point somebody has to stay. That's one thing. It's one thing about Eric from Porterhouse and Till and his wife that I love about those two is they're in California, and he is very conservative. He's very patriotic. Go check out his channel, guys. If you're homesteading, he's one of the premier homesteading channels. They're staying in California because that's where their family is, and that's where their heritage is, and they want to fix things. They're staying there and they're fighting, and unfortunately at times it looks like it's a losing battle, but he's there. He's in the game. He is in it to win it in California, and I wish more people were like that. Leftists today only exist because they have the luxury of time, money. Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Our society is extremely blessed, and these people take advantage of it. So yeah, there's that. I think I've been ranting pretty good there. You guys got me wound up. But let's see what I spent so much time. I had to swap out a very important computer at work today, and I spent about 90% of my time dealing with that. And I really did not do a lot of research on what's going on in the world. The only reason I know what's going on with what I've talked about so far is because I was watching videos while I was taking care of that PC. So let's see what's going on. Let's see here. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, Cracker Barrel. Oh, there's I completely forgot about Cracker Barrel. Are they? Yeah, Cracker. So apparently they were having a great big meeting of American companies, and Bud Light was telling what they did, and the lady that's running Cracker Barrel apparently looked at him and said, "Hold my beer." That was the stupidest thing. That was probably, I'm going to say that's worse than New Coke. Seriously. No, it's not. It's not worse than
I kind of like to know what's racist about Cracker
Barrel. Because it's a white person, and it's
the founding owner of the company.
What?
And a barrel
of crackers.
But because it was originally a soup restaurant. Like, what is the problem?
No, it was a general store, and in the general store, you sold crackers by the barrelful. People would just literally walk up and get their crackers. It's not. It's indicative of our heritage. It's the same reason. It's the same reason.
We have a United States heritage.
It's the same reason why they got rid of Aunt Jemima and Uncle Ben and the Land O'Lakes Indian, and and it's just it's oh my gosh, it's ridiculous. And all I can think of, there was a restaurant in the early 70s, late 60s, early 70s called Sambo's. Put a 1 in the chat if you remember Sambo's. And if you don't know what Sambo was a children's book about a little African kid who had a pet tiger, and it was their adventures. And it was a great series of books.
I have those books.
Well, they made a restaurant chain based around, and his name was Little Black Sambo, so they called it Sambo's. And as a kid, there was one not too far from it. It was one of the few restaurants that we could afford to go to on a regular basis, right? And so that estabilishment could not exist today. And it finally went out of business because the changing economics, the fast food restaurants got bigger, and a lot of those sit down chains just were mismanaged, and that was one of the things. And as far as I know, it didn't go away because of the racist stuff, and it wasn't racist. In fact, Little Black Sambo celebrated that kid. He was the hero. I can't even remember. I don't remember what his tiger's name was. But they ruin everything. See, Len and Gregory and Susie know. All us older Gen Xers, we know it. Been there, done that.
And the Pickles books, do they even make those anymore?
I don't know. So, and on that note, I was listening to the Benson show, Guy Benson show, and he did an interview with the CEO of Bed Bath and Beyond. And this guy, his name is Lambusa or something like that. He was telling about the decision to move the headquarters of Bed Bath and Beyond out of California. And some inside baseball there. Is the Waffle House where all the politicians go? No, that's where you go to get pancakes and meth, at least around here. But he was talking about some inside baseball there. And, normally whenever you got a big company like that and you're leaving the state, somebody from the state will reach out to you and try to talk you out of leaving. And apparently California, instead of doing that, Gavin Newsom's office made some snarky comments, like along the lines of, "Oh, I thought you were going bankrupt. As soon as you open your second store, you let us know and we might be concerned." And then Gavin Newsom took a direct dig at Bed Bath and Beyond. This is one of the things. It's one of the things that bothers me about Trump is, again, it's political capital, right? And on a national level, whenever Trump does that, he's burning political capital he can't afford to do. And the reason why the libs in California feel that they can treat businesses like that, they did the same thing to Musk. They get snarky with him and they're like, "Whoa, you don't want to play with us. We don't want to play with you." It's because it's such a one-sided state that they've got tons of political capital because the leftist people there in the state don't care. Let me rephrase that. Let me rephrase what I just said. The people that live in the big blue dots in California don't care. California is geographically more conservative than it is liberal, right? You just look at a voting map there. So but yeah, and that's just, it's the attitude. And that's that he wants to be the president of the United States. He's gonna try to make a serious run at the president of the United States, and they're gonna back him up. I mean, did you see the pictures that they posted about with Gavin Newsom and JD Vance trying to pre-position and prep the battlefield for the next presidential election? So they had a Gavin Newsom at his private school or his country club looking all dapper, and they had a picture of JD Vance being a trailer park kid, looking like a trailer park kid, long hair, doing inappropriate stuff to the camera. That, quite frankly, I'd rather have the trailer park kid that lifted himself up to be vice president of the United States than somebody who had a silver spoon in his mouth his entire life. So remember that. Remember all this whenever we're going into the next election, because this is the way. Actually, I'm going to take that back too. You need to think about this right now, because this is the way the left treats you. They treat you with contempt. If you don't believe what they believe, they treat you with contempt. And the fact that they're polling worse than at any other time in the history of the United States means nothing to them. And it's not their fault they're polling so low. It's because you're too damn stupid to understand their greatness. Right? All right, listen, we're coming up. Do you guys have any topics that you would like to discuss? I mean, I kind of monopolize this, but I can do that because it's my channel. But I want, if you guys got a topic you want to discuss and you want to hear my take on, again, $1.50 in McDonald's will get you coffee. Newsom has a minor fire problem on his record. You know what, though? Yeah. Len, let's be completely honest. Let's be 100% honest here. Kamala Harris, Newsom compared to Kamala Harris, has been a paragon of success in California. Seriously, he's a much better candidate than she is. And look at what they did to the Democrat voters in order to get her in. They saved democracy by taking away the people's voice and installing her into the position. So yeah, that fire to the powers that be is going to mean absolutely nothing to them. Okay, a lot of people are confident that Trump will get a third term and limits will be moot. No, he can't. He can't do it legally. He can't do it. And quite frankly, if he does that, then he's lost all my support. You know, and yeah, Angela just said respect too. You know, if they attempt that, I will take up arms. I will take up arms, because if he does it, what's to say that the Democrats, whenever they're in charge, won't cheat and get a third term president? What's to say that? See, this is one of these things. It's one of these things about everything that's going on here. You know, every time Trump does something bad that you like and you applaud it, think about this. Think about what happens when the Democrats get back in charge, or the liberals, and they will get back in charge at some point. It may be 12, 25 years from now, but they will be back in charge at some point. And they've had all this time to see how they screwed up and how to cheat more efficiently, and they will do it. They will have no qualms. The average hardcore liberal supporter will have absolutely no problems with the Democrat Party cheating to win the election, because we got to punch the Nazis and we got to save my democracy. That's what they got to do. So they will have no problems with it. They already, even your not hardcore liberals these days, the people that vote for Democrats, they see absolutely no problems with taking money out of your pocket. You know, and to them, the idea that taxation is theft is, that's just crazy talk. You know, but if you ask them, you know, if somebody threatens you with a gun and takes money that you don't want them to have, is that theft? Well, yes. Okay, well, the government takes money out of my pocket with the threat of violence. Plain and simple. You know? So I hope they don't go there. Seriously, I hope they don't go there, because if they do, then the country is completely cooked. Limits can be changed. It should be able to be changed by the people when it. Okay, yes, it can be. It can be done. It can be done through a constitutional referendum. It can't be done by one party, and it can't be done easily. And quite frankly, think about this. I am not a big fan of constitutional conventions. I am not, because if you go through our history and look at them, especially through the 20th century, any constitutional referendum where they made an amendment or they changed it, they really haven't worked out that well, quite frankly. You know?
And be careful what you wish for, because it works for both sides.
Yeah, and Angela just made the point, and it's 100% correct. You know, they could start a constitutional convention to change that, and it could be hijacked and done for something completely different. Actually, libtards and leftists are different. The D's used to be the libs, but now mostly leftists. Biggest difference, honestly. Yeah, and okay, maybe I need to be clear on something here. And Lynn makes a good point. So if I'm talking about liberals, you have to take it in context. If I'm talking about a big L liberal, that's a leftist. If I'm talking about a little L liberal, and you'll know by the context. If I'm talking about a little L liberal, that's a libertarian or a classical liberal. I would like to think that most libertarians are classical liberals, but that's not true. All right. But I fancy myself a classical liberal for the most part. Let me rephrase it. I'm a Republican with a classical liberal bent, meaning that I'm going to lean more towards the freedom and liberty aspects of it than the big R Republicans. You know, so there it is. Any con would turn out not so good for the people. I hate to say it, Gregory, but I think you're right. And I that's the genius behind the Constitution and the founding fathers, is they understood that the Constitution was not complete and there were going to be circumstances for it to be changed. So they put a mechanism in there, and they made the mechanism so hard that it's used. I mean, it's only been used, 10 times? I can't remember. Not even that many to change the Constitution. So they made it hard for a reason, and it was genius in the way they did it. Oh, I had something else just popped in my mind that I wanted to talk about. I can't remember what it was. Gregory made such a great point that might do what?
She's not answering my messages. She's not answering the phone calls. I have no idea what she's doing. 9:30, she's open herself.
Oh. Anti says, Yoda, that's exactly what I'm saying. Limits should be able to be put back on when the people deem it, and taken off when the people deem it. Other sites are going not permanent. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, look at the oh my gosh, I'm having a brain fart. I'm having a major vapor lock. Prohibition. Was it not the 19th? 17th? Somebody elucidate or illuminate me on prohibition was what amendment. But they made that amendment, that change, and then they changed it back because it turned out disastrous. Turns out people like their alcohol. But yeah, so and that's right. It's the genius of it. Her phone may be dead. Is it rolling over?
It's ringing though, so I don't understand that.
She might be at Home Depot. I don't know.
It didn't work.
But okay. Well, let's see. There was something else, and for the life of me, I can't remember what it was. You guys talk amongst yourselves for a second. I'm gonna see if I can't jog my memory. Oh, I know what it was. Guy, out and get on Ice Age Farmer's Telegram channel. He put an article out today about genetically modified nematodes and bacteria that they have released into the wild. And this is one of those cases where you can't put that genie back in the bottle. It's done. It's already happened. If you trust the science and not science, this could turn out really bad. It's something we need to be aware of. And there's literally, at this point in time, no defense against it. So just be wary of it. If and again, I'm not trying to fearmonger you. Don't think this is fearmongering. It was a very interesting article, and he put up a couple of good ones today. But go check him out on Telegram if you're not already on there, and read it yourself and decide what you need to do. But all this stuff is exactly why we preach what we preach. Food independence. Yeah, actually, okay. I'll come back to that. I'll come back to that answer here in a second. But we preach food independence. We need to secure our own food supply because they're putting stuff in the food. They're doing things that is going to do things to our body that we have no say over, right? And then the modern self-sufficiency. If you rely on somebody else, they can always price you out of being able to do what you need to do to fix things or whatever. They can make it cost prohibitive, and they'll do it in a heartbeat. And then community, build a community because as a group we're stronger than as an individual, right? And it's common sense. More people are going to make work easier, and it's going to make you more secure. So do that. Okay. Kansas and Missouri did very well in prohibition. No, actually, there you go. There's that word. Did you know this? This is a very, very little known fact about the state of Missouri. Before prohibition, Missouri was the second largest wine exporter in the nation, behind New York. Second largest. They were doing several million gallons of wine every single year in Missouri. If you ever come to Missouri, guys, seriously, if you ever come to Missouri, take a trip out to Hermann, Missouri. It was settled by German immigrants, and the reason why they settled there is because the river bluffs and the area where Hermann is looks exactly like Bavaria. And so there's still Stonehouse Winery. There's about 6 or 7 wineries there, and you can go there on a weekend. Fantastic winery tour. But all up and down the Missouri River, there's wineries, and there's getting more and more. But they were doing a couple of million, I said gallons, barrels of wine every year before Prohibition. After Prohibition, they barely had 40,000 barrels. So it completely destroyed the wine industry in Missouri. And we know what happened after, California became big and all that stuff. Anheuser-Busch was able to stay in business. Then they were the kings. They're still the king in Missouri, even with the tranny beer, the mechanic beer that they've got, because it works on transmissions, or it works on trannies, But yeah, so there's a little known fact. Yes, the state survived it a lot because of moonshine too. I'm not gonna lie, and that was a big thing when I was a kid. But yeah, the wine industry, Prohibition completely destroyed it. But you can go to Missouri now. It's slowly coming back. I think last time I checked, they were up around 800,000 to 900,000 barrels of wine a year in Missouri, which is awesome. And you get some really good wine on the western side of the state. And I say that because I don't know the eastern side, because I don't like going over to St. Louis in that area that much. I know in Hannibal, there's a really good winery. Let's see, when did they do that nonsense? Oh, the nematodes and stuff. It was just recently. They did it just recently, from what he was saying. Yeah, we can kill all the genetically modified nematodes by spraying Roundup. Maybe there's a built-in firewall there already. Maybe the overuse of herbicides and pesticides will kill these things before they run rampant. That was the what was that movie with Matthew McConaughey, Interstellar? The blight that happened, that killed all the plants and everything, that was going to cause humans to go extinct. That was because of a bio thing that escaped the lab and destroyed everything. Good movie. I like that movie, by the way. Okay, guys. Well, you guys got a lot of rant out of me tonight. I'm kind of surprised. You guys just kind of let me go. If you got anything to say, put it in the comments. I love hearing about it. I want you guys to engage and let us know what you think. Part of the reason why we do this is because we want you guys to share your experiences with us. And you guys do that every time you come in the chat, and you do that every time you comment on anything that I post. So I think the turkeys are upset because they need some water. I'll go check on them here in a second. New topic. I am starting to like some AI. I'm converting code from one language to another. The syntax is a bit weird. Instead of learning it all, I gave it to AI and had it done in 20 seconds. Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm on the second. I'm working on the second revision, or the second draft of my book, and I had to. It wasn't a complete rewrite on 2 chapters, but it was I changed about 50% of the information in those 2 chapters. So it was a pretty big rewrite. Using AI to edit out all the stuff I wanted edited out literally took me only a couple 3 hours. I think all total I had about 8 hours of time tied up in the rewrite of those 2 chapters. And doing it manually, it would have taken it would have taken me a week or so. You know, so there are benefits. Do I have my cheese talk for yes, it's MPP. MPP. I don't even know what they're calling anymore, Gregory. Seriously. It's Midwest Preparedness Festival. Midwest Preparedness Project Festival. MWPPF. Is that right? Yeah. See, this is, again, you can never go home. You can never go home. It's not the same as it used to be. Anyway, cheese talk. I've been working on it. I've been honing it. It's the presentation is going to come up it'll be 4 weeks from this Friday is when I have it. So I'm going to start practicing the presentation. I've got the death by PowerPoint done, and I'm going to practice my actual presenting it and refining it that way. And so on Friday, the 28th of September, I will give a flawless, and people, it will be something that people talk about for all the right reasons through the ages. You know, 20 years from now, if they're still doing the festival, people are going to go, God, I wish G was here giving his cheese talk. That's how good it's going to be. Seriously. In fact, come and find out yourself. See that I'm not lying. I'm modest too, by the way, guys. What else is going on? Midwest Preparedness Festival. Yeah. Well, they call it MPP. They call it all kinds of different things now. Yeah, if you go to the Discord, it's MPP. So there's what's going on here. That's the state of the world according to Grumpy and Yoda. If you're not a subscriber, if you're watching this on rerun, or you stumble across us halfway through and I haven't chased you off because of my rants, feel free to subscribe. We want you guys to come join us on this journey towards a life done free. I'm gonna say this right now, and I'm not saying this just to blow smoke up people's butts, but the people that join us on our chats on a regular basis are some of the best people on the internet, as far as I'm concerned. Very knowledgeable. Every one of them that I've met in person has been great. And we enjoy your company online. You know, that's right. That's a true statement, don't you think?
Yeah, and they're all willing to share their experience.
Yes, and that's the big thing. That's the big thing. Everybody that comes in here is willing to share their experience. In fact, some of them we can't get them to shut up about it. No, seriously, we do like it. Remember tomorrow night, financial preparedness in an urban crisis, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. It really kind of sucks. As time has gone on, my delivery of the topics has been better, and the information that I'm sharing with you guys has gotten better. And part of me wants to go back and redo all these videos as a sit down recorded video so that I can present the new material that I've got on all the early videos. I could present that material to you guys, but I'm not going to do that because, quite frankly, I'm lazy and it's too much work. I got so many other things to do. But yeah, so be there tomorrow night if you can make it. If not, watch it on rerun. If you want to help the channel, go down below and check it out. I do not have the EMP Shield link down there or the code. I just realized that right before we started, so I will get that edited in after the fact. Use that Grumpy code to go get $50 off an EMP Shield. They are important. They will save you even if an EMP does not happen. They will protect you from a lightning strike, and I think it's a $50,000 insurance policy if lightning strikes your EMP Shield and it goes through. Yeah. Oh, Lynn, I'm probably gonna go through about 3 or 4 drafts by the time this is done, because every time I go through a revision, I'm making notes of what I need to change after I get this revision done. So I've revisited a couple ideas like 2 or 3 times already. I'm only on revision 2. I'll get there. It'll get done in time for Christmas. You guys will be able to buy one and give it to one of your city friends as a Christmas gift to keep them from perishing in the coming apocalypse. Okay. Go down and hit the affiliate links. Hit that like button. Let me know in the chat in the chat or in the comments. Let me know if that hype thing is showing up. I have not been able to find a channel that it's doing it on. In fact, I went and just selected some random channels that looked like they were eligible for it, and I couldn't get it to pop up. But that's YouTube, right? At the end of the day, guys, Yoda wants you to be whatever percentage you can be better. Just be better tomorrow than you were today. Do something in your life to make yourself better. And that way, after you've become 10%, but she's saying 20% better now. She went 60% better. Oh my God, she got pretty high expectation of you guys. You guys, she's a slave driver on this stuff. But just be better, guys. Seriously, and that way, when you put your head on the pillow at night, you can sleep soundly knowing that you are better off than you were when you woke up. And it's just a good feeling. All right. Stick around for the closing commercial and go out tomorrow and live a life debt free. Take care, guys.